Hi, I'm Eric Fry. I'm here in Fremont, California to investigate what could be Elon Musk's most insane invention yet. You see, on January 28th of 2024, he officially launched an artificial intelligence experiment inside this building you see behind me. His team is testing a new type of AI that, according to Wired magazine, will usher in the next step in human evolution. And even though the New York Times once called this idea science fantasy, it has become reality. And I believe it will change humanity as we know it, and make a lot of people wealthy in the process. Elon has already invested $100 million of his own money into this project because he knows the profits here could be ridiculous. And he's not the only billionaire investing in this new type of AI. Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos were part of a venture capital group that invested $75 million in this new trend. So, in the next few minutes, I'll show how you too could profit from this breakthrough. The scientists involved in this project call this experiment PRIME, and I'll explain what that stands for in just a moment. Because most people have no idea what's happening inside this building. You see, this has nothing to do with Elon Musk's well-known companies like Tesla, SpaceX, XAI, and X, formerly known as Twitter. This new venture could be much bigger than all of those combined, because this is part of a mega trend that I believe will revolutionize the $11.9 trillion global healthcare industry. Listen to what the CEO of investment research firm Risk Hedge said. This is one of the most lucrative opportunities I've come across in my entire career. Fortunes stand to be made. So if you've missed out on the AI boom, if you've missed out on the big gains from AI stocks like Nvidia, pay close attention, because this could be your last chance to profit from this boom. Now, before I give you all the details, I must give you a warning. I tried to go inside the building, but they wouldn't let me in, because this AI experiment is too controversial. What I'm about to reveal will sound absolutely crazy to you. In fact, I never thought this could happen, not in my lifetime, but it is happening. So please keep an open mind during the next few minutes, because when I tell you exactly what's happening inside this building, you will not believe me. You'll tell yourself this is just science fiction, that there's no way this can be true. And I can't blame you for thinking that, because it is truly mind-blowing. But everything Elon Musk has done throughout his career sounded unbelievable at first. Think about it. If I had told you in the late 1990s, when most people were still mailing checks, that Elon would invent a new way for people to send payments through the internet, you would have called me crazy. But that was PayPal. Those who thought digital payments were a crazy idea missed out on huge gains. But those who believed in Elon could have made a lot of money. Venture capitalist Peter Thiel, for example, turned $1,664 into $3.8 million using a special stock deal to invest in PayPal. If I had told you that Elon Musk, who had zero training in rocket science, would invent a reusable rocket that could go into orbit and return to Earth, something that even NASA was never able to figure out, you would have called me crazy. But that's SpaceX. Most people also thought a reusable rocket was an insane idea. But the venture capitalists who believed in Elon had a chance to see a whopping gain of more than 500,000%. How about this? What if I had told you in 2004, when nobody was talking about artificial intelligence, that Elon would invent an electric car powered by an AI that drives itself, and that this car would outsell every car company in the world? I bet you would have called me crazy, but those who thought self-driving cars were insane missed out on a chance to pocket a gain of nearly 36,000% from Tesla. So, as crazy as this new AI project will sound to you, please, I'm going to ask you to suspend your disbelief for just a moment, because there's a lot of money at stake. Let me show you what I discovered. Then you can make up your own mind. As for me, I believe this is a game changer that will mint millionaires across America. But this story also has a dark side, because I believe Elon's new invention will usher in the third and most powerful phase of the computing revolution, and those who don't prepare will be left behind. Millions could fall into financial distress and spend the rest of their lives depending on handouts from the government. I don't want you to be one of them. So in the next few minutes, I'll give you all the details to make sure you end up on the right side of this computing revolution. I'll tell you about a simple investment you can make today that will give you a chance to make massive gains from this new type of AI. And I'll explain why you need to act before July 23rd. Some of the smartest investors on the planet have already made this investment. I'm talking about people like Warren Buffett, Ray Dalio, and Bill Ackman. They've collectively invested billions of dollars into this one play I'll discuss today. I'll also give you the name of a stock that's well-positioned to benefit from this mega trend, 100% free. So let me go inside a studio to give you all the details because we don't have any time to waste. Hi, my name is Eric Fry. I spent the last 30 years working in Silicon Valley and on Wall Street as a broker, entrepreneur, analyst, and hedge fund manager. A few years ago, I entered an investment competition featuring 650 of Wall Street's biggest names, including hedge fund legends and billionaires like David Einhorn and Bill Ackman. Now, I'm sure most people thought I had no chance, but with an average annualized return of 140%, I ended up beating all those legends and winning the entire thing, earning me the title of America's #1 trader. How is that possible? Well, it's simple. Over the past decades, I've developed what can only be described as a sixth sense for the market, an ability to see big trends before the masses do. For example, back in the year 2000, I warned everyone that the dot-com bubble was about to burst. Those who listened to me avoided the bloodbath when the NASDAQ plunged 78%, and many tech stocks went bankrupt. I made a similar call in 2005 when I noticed another bubble, this time in the housing market. I even went on CNBC to get the word out to as many investors as possible, and by doing so, I helped thousands of Americans dodge that financial disaster when the housing market completely collapsed 2 years later. In recent years, I've not only helped folks avoid huge losses, but I've also given them multiple opportunities to make huge gains from major tech trends. For example, back in 2015, when most folks thought Bitcoin was just some magic internet money, I recommended it to my readers, giving them a chance to turn $1,000 into as much as $276,000. And that's not all. Take a look at these gains. Most people go their entire lives and never find an investment that returns 1,000% or more. But I've done it not just once, not twice, not 3 times. I've done it 41 times. That's right. My readers had 41 different chances to make at least 10 times their money. I'm talking about opportunities to turn $1,000 into more than $17,000 in Valero Energy, more than $60,000 in Westpac Banking, and more than $113,000 in Miner International, just to name a few. And I'm here today because I believe Elon Musk just kicked off the third and most powerful phase of the computing revolution with his new AI. That means today, you have a unique opportunity to turn a small stake into a windfall. But it's critical that you act before July 23rd. As I'm about to show you, there's an AI announcement scheduled for that date, and it could trigger explosive gains in the investment I'm recommending today. But before we get into that, let me show you what happened in the first 2 phases of the computing revolution. Because anyone who caught those phases had multiple chances to turn a small stake into huge 6-figure and even 7-figure payouts. For example, look at what happened during the first phase of the computing revolution in the 1980s and 1990s, when companies like IBM, Apple, and Microsoft helped popularize the personal computer. In hindsight, it seems obvious that everyone would want a computer, but that was not what most folks thought at the time. In fact, in 1977, 1 year after Apple introduced its first personal computer, Ken Olsen, founder of Digital Equipment Corp., famously said, "There is no reason anyone would want a computer in their home." In other words, the idea that we would all have computers seemed like an insane idea at that time. Those who couldn't imagine the future missed out on incredible gains. For example, had you invested in Microsoft right after it launched Windows, you could have turned $1,000 into more than $3.6 million. Same story with Apple. Had you invested just a tiny stake of $1,000 in that company when it released the Macintosh, you'd be sitting on a $1.6 million fortune today. With the advent of the internet in the 1990s, soon every household had to have a personal computer. That's why in that decade alone, shares of the Wi-Fi router maker Cisco skyrocketed high enough to turn $1,000 into more than $940,000. Intel was another big player in the first phase of that computing revolution. Because in the 1990s, it began developing microchips that were specifically designed for mobile computing. And again, had you invested just $1,000 in Intel, you could have walked away with more than $276,000. With these new Intel chips, personal computers slowly started to become not only more powerful, but also lighter and more portable. For example, in 1994, IBM released Simon. That was a precursor to the modern smartphones we use today. If you're from my generation, I'm sure you remember those. It looked like a brick, but it was a big deal at the time because it had 11 built-in programs, like a calendar, a calculator, and an address book. Now, I'm telling you this because I want you to understand that in the 1980s and 1990s, computers slowly evolved from clunky, heavy machines you couldn't carry anywhere to lighter mobile devices you could carry everywhere. That set the stage for the second phase of the computing revolution when Apple released their first iPhone in 2007. Once again, in hindsight, it seems obvious that everyone would want to have a smartphone. But at $500 a piece, many thought the iPhone was just too expensive. Steve Ballmer, who was the CEO of Microsoft at the time, even said, "There's no chance that the iPhone is going to get any significant market share. No chance." Even fewer folks could have imagined the types of things you'd be able to do on a smartphone. Like today, you can hail a taxi, buy a house with a click of a button, translate any language, get directions to go anywhere, send and receive money, do video calls, and so much more. Today, all this stuff is just no big deal to us. We take it all for granted. But if I had told you in 2007 that you'd be able to do all those things from your smartphone, you would have put me in a straitjacket. Those who couldn't imagine the future, once again, missed out on incredible gains from that second phase of the computing revolution. For example, look at what happened with the shares of Infineon Technologies, a company that made chips that power the iPhone. They skyrocketed as high as 9,091%, enough to turn $1,000 into more than $91,000. We also saw a boom in the shares of Broadcom, another Apple supplier. Had you invested $1,000, you could have cashed out with more than $118,000. But perhaps my favorite example is NVIDIA. Today, it is arguably the most popular stock in the world. But in the late 2000s, when nobody was talking about the company, it started developing chips for mobile platforms. Had you invested just a tiny $1,000 back then, you'd be sitting on almost $400,000 today. As you can see, the second phase of the computing revolution not only resulted in huge gains for savvy investors, but it completely transformed our society. Today, everyone carries a computer in their pocket. For the past few years, we've become more and more dependent on our smartphones. These internet-connected devices have become a kind of external memory source. Millions of people can't even imagine living without their smartphone. It's probably the most important gadget of our generation. But that's about to change. Elon Musk just invented a new device that I believe will be 1,000 times bigger than the smartphone, because it will usher in the third and final phase of the computing revolution. You see, while the first two phases of that revolution were marked by the advent of the personal computer and the internet, the third phase will be dominated by artificial intelligence, or AI. But not just any type of AI that you've heard about before. No, this will be an entirely new type of AI pioneered by Elon Musk. An AI consisting of a computer and a human brain. Now, this is the part of my presentation where things are going to start sounding a little crazy. So please, once again, I'm going to ask you to keep up in mind, because throughout history, all the major tech breakthroughs sounded like insane ideas at first. So let's get into the details. The first thing you need to understand is that Elon Musk believes AI will be a threat to humanity. He's been warning everybody about it. And I believe we should all pay attention to what he's saying, because nobody in the world has more real-life AI experience than Elon. For years, he's been working on AI to build self-driving Teslas. In 2011, he also became an early investor in DeepMind, an AI company that was later acquired by Google. In 2015, Elon also co-founded OpenAI, the creator of ChatGPT. So he's literally the reason why ChatGPT exists. The bottom line is we should take Elon Musk's concerns very seriously. You see, he's not just worried about something like Skynet, the computer program that tried to wipe out the human race in the Terminator movies. What keeps Elon Musk up at night is the fact that for the first time ever, we'll have something that is smarter than the smartest human. As he said recently, I am very close to the cutting edge in AI and it scares the hell out of me. It's capable of vastly more than almost anyone knows, and the rate of improvement is really dramatic. Things are advancing so fast that Elon predicted that as early as next year, AI could begin to overtake humans and make us obsolete. Goldman Sachs economists are already warning that 300 million jobs could simply disappear because of AI. And it's not just blue-collar workers. Lawyers, doctors, and other white-collar professionals are also at risk. As one industry insider said, nobody is safe. A recent survey showed that 14% of workers claim to have already lost a job to AI. And this is just the beginning. Most people are underestimating how fast these changes are coming. Let me give you just one example. Take a look at this new AI called Sora. You can simply type what you want, and it creates these videos with perfect quality. Look at the detail in these videos. They look real, but they're not. They were all created by AI in a matter of seconds. How much longer before AI can analyze story patterns of the most popular movies, write its own script for a full-length movie, and produce it with little help from humans? If I had to bet, I'd say not very long. That's why the famous filmmaker Tyler Perry just canceled his $800 million studio expansion project after watching these AI videos. He understands that Hollywood is in big, big trouble. Elon Musk isn't the only one worried about AI. The late, great physicist Stephen Hawking also warned that super intelligent AI could one day replace us. 10 years ago, Hawking told the BBC artificial intelligence could take off on its own and redesign itself at an ever-increasing rate. Humans, who were limited by slow biological evolution, couldn't compete and would be superseded. The reality is, nobody can stop the progress of AI. That genie is out of the bottle. And that's the big problem that Elon Musk is trying to solve. So, what's his solution? Well, if you can't beat AI, if you can't stop the progress, the only logical solution is to join AI. That's why Elon Musk built a brain-machine interface to create a direct communication pathway between the human brain and computers. We've become very attached to our mobile phones, but the information flow between machines and humans is too slow for Elon. As he explains, even in a benign AI scenario, we will be left behind. With this brain-machine interface, we can actually go along for the ride. We can have the option of merging with AI. You heard that right. His plan is to merge humans with AI. That's where his experiment called PRIME, P-R-I-M-E, comes in. It stands for Precise Robotically Implanted Brain-Computer Interface. Again, I know this is going to sound crazy, but after leveraging a technology that was originally developed by DARPA, the government agency that invented the internet, Elon Musk and his team at his firm Neuralink built a surgical robot that can do something not even the best neurosurgeon can do. It can precisely implant a brain-computer interface in a region of the brain that controls the intention to move. Here's how this device looks. It has electrodes smaller than a human hair that go into the brain and interprets a person's neural activity so they can control external devices with their mind alone. In this past January, for the first time ever, they implanted this device in the brain of a person with quadriplegia. Since that person had lost movement from the neck down, the goal of this FDA-approved trial was to help that patient control an external computer with their thoughts alone, which sounds absolutely insane. In fact, just 5 years ago, the New York Times made fun of Elon and said this idea was, I quote, science fantasy. Once again, Elon proved everyone wrong because that first human trial was a huge success. And the patient is already playing chess online with only his mind. He recently said, "It has already changed my life. I feel like it's going to change the world." So what next? Elon is planning to use those neural signals captured by his device to restore lost capabilities such as vision, motor function, and speech. To quote the Bible, soon the blind will see, the deaf will hear, and the lame will walk. But that's just not some biblical prophecy, it's reality. And that's just the beginning of what I believe will be the third and final phase of the computing revolution. You see, solving brain and spinal injuries is just the first step for Neuralink. The longer-term goal is the complete fusion between human intelligence and artificial intelligence. Imagine being able to translate one language to another immediately in your head, or search the internet and find answers to any question you have without ever typing or speaking, or being able to order takeout food just by thinking about it. I know at this point you're probably thinking, Eric, you've lost your mind. This will never happen. I get it. It sounds crazy. But please remember that all of Elon Musk's ventures sounded absolutely insane at first. Those who have doubted Elon Musk have missed out on incredible gains. $1,000 would have turned into more than $360,000 in Tesla. Venture capitalist Peter Thiel used a special stock deal to turn a $1,664 investment in PayPal into $3.8 million. And the venture capitalists who got into SpaceX had a chance to see a gain of more than 555,000%. That's why, in just a moment, I'll tell you about a simple investment you can make that will give you exposure to Neuralink's growth. Like I mentioned earlier, legendary investors like Warren Buffett, Ray Dalio, George Soros, and Bill Ackman have already collectively invested billions into this play. Do you think all these legends would be risking billions if it was just a pipe dream? Look, we're all adults here. You can tell yourself this is just science fiction, and that's your decision to make. But I believe you'd be making the biggest financial mistake of your life because you'll never have another chance to get in on the ground floor of such a revolutionary technology. If you miss this, I believe you'll regret it for the rest of your life. And regardless of how you feel about this, many AI experts believe this trend cannot be stopped. For example, Lex Friedman, an AI researcher from MIT, said, humans have been gradually merging with AI for 20 plus years. At some point, we will become more AI than human, and we won't even notice. Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI and the man who co-founded ChatGPT with Elon Musk, said, superhuman AI is going to happen. It would be good for the entire world to start taking this a lot more seriously now. It's probably going to happen sooner than most people think. Google's chief engineer, Ray Kurzweil, also believes that's the future. When it comes to technology, he's gone on record with hundreds of predictions, and he's been correct over 90% of the time. He recently predicted Elon's invention will be, quote, the next step of our evolution. That's why I want to show you how to take a stake in this project. You see, while Neuralink is still a private company, I have found an investment that will give you exposure to its growth. Most people don't know about this investment and its relationship to Elon, but some of the savviest investors on the planet are betting big on it. For example, Warren Buffett, who many consider the best investor ever, has a secretive investment in it. And I say secretive because if you look for this investment in Berkshire Hathaway's portfolio, you won't find it. Instead, Warren made this investment through a little-known asset management company that is a subsidiary of his main firm. Now, I'm not sure why he's trying to keep this investment hidden from the public. Maybe he wants to keep his cards close to his chest for now, so he can continue to build up an even bigger position. I can't blame him, but he's not the only one who's figured this out. Billionaire and hedge fund manager Bill Ackman has already made this investment as well. This is a legend who made $3.6 billion during the COVID crisis, in what Barron's called the greatest trade of all time. He's now so confident in the investment I'm recommending today that he has poured more than $3.3 billion into it. I don't know about you, but I would only invest $3.3 billion in something if I was 100% confident that it was going to trounce all other investments. The list of legends who are betting on this investment is mind-blowing. Billionaire Ray Dalio, founder of the world's largest hedge fund, has invested $281 million. Jim Simons, who runs Renaissance Technologies, the best performing hedge fund in history, has invested about $280 million. And legendary trader Paul Tudor Jones has invested more than $9 million. These are all big investment legends on Wall Street, and they're all betting big on this investment because they know that this third and final phase of the computing revolution will trigger massive gains. Remember, if you knew how to profit from personal computers and smartphones during the first two phases of the computing revolution, you could have turned $1,000 into more than $400,000 in NVIDIA. $1.6 million in Apple, and more than $3.6 million in Microsoft. If you missed out on those gains, now is your second chance. That's why I put all the details inside a special report called How to Profit from Elon Musk's Neuralink. Inside, you'll find the name, ticker symbol, and my full analysis of this company. And you better act fast, because the executive team behind this operation is scheduled to make an announcement on July 23rd that could send shares skyrocketing higher. If you wait until then, it could be too late. I'll tell you how to claim this report in just a moment. First, I also want to give you access to another special report with my top 3 AI healthcare stocks for 2024. Look, at this point, everyone knows that AI will be the technology of this century. According to the consulting firm PwC Global, AI is the largest megatrend of our generation. The firm estimates it will create $15.7 trillion in new wealth. Simply put, I predict this could be the biggest wealth creator in history. But if you're just buying well-known AI stocks like NVIDIA and Microsoft, I believe you're too late to the party. The big gains have already been made. But if you missed out on that initial AI boom, here's the good news. I believe the next big AI gains will come from the intersection between AI and biotech. You see, this fusion between humans and AI is just one facet of a much bigger revolution in the healthcare industry. That's why Forbes said this new trend will mint the world's first trillionaire. According to Grandview Research, this market is growing at nearly 42% per year. That's why one hedge fund manager said, when an industry grows this fast, fortunes stand to be made. The fusion of AI and healthcare is one of the most lucrative opportunities I've come across in my entire career. That's why I put together another special report called My Top 3 AI Healthcare Stocks for 2024. Inside, you'll find the names, ticker symbols, and my full analysis. For example, I'll tell you about a company that's using AI to discover new drugs. And that's very exciting because without AI, scientists can take more than 10 years to discover and develop a single drug, not to mention all the crazy costs involved. To bring a single new drug to market could cost as much as $2.5 billion. There's also a lot of trial and error involved. For example, more than 95% of all experimental medicines that are currently in the drug development pipeline are expected to fail. In other words, without AI, we're wasting a lot of money and time and not going anywhere. That's why we still don't have any treatments for many diseases. But what if we could cut down the drug development time from 10 years to just 1 year and do it for a fraction of the cost? That's the promise of AI, and it has already started. Last year, the FDA approved the first AI-designed cancer drug. Soon, I believe we'll have new life-changing drugs on a scale and at a pace that we've never seen before. And if you know which companies are behind these breakthroughs, you could walk away with a windfall. For example, one biotech firm I'm following is using AI to tap into the power of genomic data and develop new drugs. Right now, it's working on new cancer treatments and on a drug that could revolutionize the weight loss industry. That's pretty exciting to me because we all know that's a huge market. We've all seen the success of Ozempic and how it has become a blockbuster drug, producing billions of dollars of sales. But one problem with Ozempic is that it comes with some serious side effects, and one of those is loss of muscle mass. So this biotech company is using AI to develop a drug that can combat muscle loss. That could be a huge winner. You'll find all the details inside your report, My Top 3 AI Healthcare Stocks for 2024. I'll also tell you about a company that this year alone is expected to get results on about 24 clinical trials, some of those focused on cancer. BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street, which are some of the biggest players on Wall Street, have already invested a combined $21 billion in this company. I'll also tell you about a company that just went public last year, and it's using AI to translate massive amounts of patient data into useful information for doctors and to improve MRI images. It's all inside your special report. Now, I recommend you act fast on these 3 recommendations as well, because this AI healthcare boom has just started. As the Wall Street Journal recently said, biotech stocks join AI-fueled rally, and the gains here could be fast and furious. For example, The popular AI company NVIDIA just invested $50 million in a biotech firm called Recursion Pharmaceuticals, another company focused on drug discovery. That's why the shares jumped by as much as 190% just in the last few months. Shares of Janux Therapeutics skyrocketed 750% in just a little over 3 months. And Viking Therapeutics jumped even higher, 756%. Again, all in just the last few months. Now, normally the stock market goes up about 10% a year, and yet these stocks are already returning many multiples of that in a matter of months. My point is, every day you wait, you could be leaving massive profits on the table. Now, before I tell you how to claim this special report, my top 3 AI healthcare stocks for 2024, there's one more opportunity I want to tell you about today. You see, the biggest gains during this AI boom might not come from large established players. Many of the biggest gains will come from smaller companies with names you've probably never heard of before. How do I know that? Because that's exactly what happened during the internet boom. Take Microsoft, for example. After Netscape's launch in 1994, Bill Gates saw the internet's potential as clear as day. He knew Microsoft had to be at the forefront of it. So in 1995, Microsoft released the famous browser Internet Explorer. And the rest, as they say, is history. Had you invested in the company back then, you could have made 10 times your money by the end of that decade. And while that's a great return, it's nothing compared to what happened with the smaller internet players. Like the tiny semiconductor company, Semtech. Take a look. Its shares exploded 24,575% by the end of that decade. That's enough to turn $1,000 into almost $250,000 in just a few years. Or look at computer hardware company Value Solutions. Incredibly, it jumped more than 66,000%. Enough to turn a tiny investment of $1,000 into more than $660,000 by the end of the decade. Or take a look at this other stock that went even higher. It skyrocketed an unbelievable 125,453%. That means that you invested just $1,000, by the end of the decade, you'd be a millionaire with more than $1.2 million in your account. Can you see the power of small cap stocks when you get in just before a disruptive technology goes mainstream? Like I mentioned before, it's probably too late for you to profit from big AI companies like NVIDIA. That's why I put together another report called the AI Moonshots, which has my top 3 small cap AI stocks. Inside this report, you'll learn about a tiny company that's using the power of AI to revolutionize the energy sector. Hint, they've already partnered with a slew of Fortune 500 companies across the US, including Amazon and Walmart. You'll also learn about a software company at the forefront of the AI revolution that's creating real-time 3D content for video games and other specialized applications. And an AI company that can find underground gold and other metals without any drilling. You'll find their names, ticker symbols, and my full analysis inside this report. So how can you claim all 3 of these reports? Well, I'd like to give you immediate access to all of them, totally free of charge. All I ask in return is that you try a no-risk trial subscription to my monthly investment newsletter called Fry's Investment Report. Every month in Fry's Investment Report, I'll show you the new tech breakthroughs sweeping our world, including AI. But not just technology. We go well beyond tech trends because I look for the best opportunities in the market wherever they may be. On Wall Street, this is called a global macro strategy. And it simply means I look for big picture trends that drive huge multi-year moves in entire sectors of the market. So my team and I are constantly analyzing disruptive technologies in the context of business cycles, stock market trends, geopolitical events, and other major factors in order to pinpoint stocks with exceptional potential. And in nearly every issue of Fry's Investment Report, we include our number 1 recommendation for that month. It's easy to read with clear and straightforward analysis. And all you need to do is to decide if you want to participate in those plays. Thanks to this global macro approach, I found a total of 41 opportunities that could have 10x your money. I've also managed to uncover another 19 investments that have shot up at least 500%, like Shandong Power, up nearly 700%, Tata Communications, up nearly 800%, and Tech Corp, up more than 900%. I challenge you to find another analyst with a better track record. So, here's the good news for you. Normally, access to Fry's Investment Report would cost $199 per year, but today, I want to give you a chance to try my research, totally risk-free, at a huge discount to the normal price. But before we get to those details, there's another special report I'd like to give you today. You see, I believe AI will be the biggest disruptor of our generation. And in every disruption, there are winners and losers. So far, I've told you about some companies I believe will be winners, but it's also important to avoid the losers. Imagine you invested your hard-earned money in companies like Blockbuster, Borders Group, and JCPenney. You would have lost your shirt because all those stocks went to zero when those companies failed to adapt to the new internet world. I've already identified 3 companies I believe will be AI victims and will struggle to survive over the next few years. Please pay close attention because they could be sitting in your portfolio right now, which is why I'd like to send you another report called The Top 3 AI Losers, the landmine stocks you must avoid. Don't let these troubled companies get anywhere close to your portfolio, no matter how cheap they get, because there's a very good chance their shares will deliver major losses or even go to zero. You can access this report along with the 3 previous reports free of charge. All you need to do today is take a risk-free trial to Fry's investment report. So here's a recap of everything you'll receive. Our next 12 monthly investment recommendations in Fry's investment report. Bonus report number 1, how to profit from Elon Musk's Neuralink. Bonus report number 2, my top 3 AI healthcare stocks for 2024. Bonus report number 3, the AI moonshots, 3 speculative plays that could make you 1,000%. And bonus report number 4, the top 3 AI losers, the landmine stocks you must avoid. You'll also get full access to my online archives at our members-only website. That includes not just past issues, but also all my past research reports, plus a regularly updated look at our model portfolio, weekly updates, and the owner's manual, which will help you get started even if you're new to the investment world. So here's the deal. Instead of the regular price of $199, I've negotiated a huge discount for you with my publisher. Click the button on your screen to get all the details on this offer on the next page. I bet you'll be pleasantly surprised. In fact, when you click on that button and see the details of this offer, you might wonder, why is this so affordable? Well, it's simple. First, you probably don't know me yet, so I understand if I need to earn your trust first. That's why I negotiated with my publisher to keep the price as low as possible, a price that barely covers the cost of keeping this page online. Simply put, I don't want the price to be an issue for you, but there's a second more important reason. For the past few years, I've become increasingly frustrated watching the endless debates about the huge and growing wealth gap in America. And with AI now going mainstream, I believe the wealth gap will become 1,000 times worse. Millions of Americans are about to fall on hard times, while a fraction of people are set to ascend to new levels of wealth. I'm confident my research can arm you with the information you need to land on the right side of the wealth gap. That's my bigger mission here. So click on the button on your screen to get started. Clicking that button will not obligate you to anything. It will simply take you to a secure order form where you can review one more time the details of this offer. Remember, I'm not asking you to make a long-term commitment. This is just a risk-free trial. And when I say risk-free, I mean it. You can take the next 90 days to test drive Fry's investment report and see how you like it at absolutely no risk to you. That's right. If you're not happy with your subscription for any reason, simply let us know during the next 90 days and you'll receive a full refund of every penny you paid. No questions asked. And you can keep all the special reports as my gift to you. That's right. If you're not happy with your subscription for any reason, simply let us know during the next 90 days and you'll receive a full refund of every penny you paid. No questions asked. And you can keep all the special reports as my gift to you. That's right. You can keep everything. Like I said, there's no risk to you. Just please keep in mind, all investing carries risk. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Before I let you go, I promised to give you a free recommendation, so here you go. The name of the company is Incyte Corp. Symbol is INCY. It's a biotech firm that's using AI to develop its next generation cancer therapies. The company has already discovered several first-in-class medicines for patients who previously had limited treatment options. And I believe the stock still has a lot of upside potential. But, of course, I believe that the biggest gains will come from the stocks I've selected in my special reports. Remember, you can claim all these reports for free today by taking a risk-free trial subscription. You can try a subscription for the next 90 days at no risk to you. This kind of guarantee is pretty much unheard of I'm only able to offer this guarantee because I'm confident that once you read my research, you'll want to stick around. So go ahead, click the button on your screen to get started. Because like I showed you today, we have no time to waste. If you wait until after this announcement is coming in just a few days, it could be too late. AI is being adopted faster than any other technology we've ever seen. And that means each day you wait, you could be leaving money on the table. Each day you wait, you're essentially gambling with your financial future. AI will disrupt everything. Some people will come out of this revolution wealthier than they ever thought possible. Others will lose their jobs and end up depending on government handouts. I created this presentation to help you land on the right side of this wealth gap. But you must act now. I'm sure you'll make the right decision for you and your family. Thanks for watching. I look forward to welcoming you to Fry's Investment Report.